That's to dispirit you. When they talk up Ron Paul, when they talk about maybe somebody going third party, that is to dispirit you. That's all they got, folks. They can't tout Obama's virtues. And in fact, as I was going to say, the story has now crossed the pond. UK Daily Mail. President Obama's 2012 reelection campaign will be the first in modern political history to abandon white working class voters, according to strategists. For decades, Democrats have been losing more and more blue-collar whites. Their alienation helped lead to a massive Republican wave in 2010, the midterms, when the Republicans wooed 30% more of white working-class voters than the Democrats did. Democrat strategists say that Obama's focusing its attention instead on poor black and Hispanic voters and educated white professionals. All pretense, and that they're just recycling Thomas B. Edsall's piece that was now 3 weeks old. I remember when I was in the op-ed section of the New York Times. Edsall used to write the Washington Post. Now he's a big liberal muckety-muck at the Huffing and Puffington Post. And when I saw that piece on that Monday in the New York Times, remember, I told you this is big. It's not getting anywhere near the attention it ought to be getting from the Republicans. It ought to be a staple of the Republican primary campaign. Newt, Mitt, Perry, Bachmann, they all ought to be talking about this. Here you have the first black president admitting they're not interested in the votes of white working class Americans. They're not interested. They're going after poor blacks and Hispanics, minorities, and the educated white elite, which should be professors, Hollywood types, Wall Street types, CEOs, this kind of thing. Now, I think, folks, it is paramount to keep this front and center. This is a divisive approach. This is an approach by the President of the United States to divide the people of this country. So we watch the campaign roll out. And there's also now a couple stories I have in the stack about how the regime plans on using women in the campaign. In fact, there's a phrase in one of the stories that women will actually be the canaries in the coal mine in terms of deciphering which policies will work and which ones won't, which campaign strategies will work and which ones won't. Now, this UK Daily Mail piece is from November 28th. And it was not a big deal was made of it at the time. But I ran across it, and I just want to point out to you that the story has found its way across the pond. I think, and I always trust my instincts. My instincts have never failed me. I think this is huge. Can you imagine running around with if you're Republican, the ammo this gives you? The President of the United States, one of his top strategists, admitting they can't get and are not interested in getting the votes of white working class voters. I don't even mean to make it racial. Take white out of the equation. Just working class voters. Not interested in them. The fact they happen to be white is incidental. No, not to the Obama people, but I mean, you're going to be careful how you go about this if you're going to use it. The 2012 approach treats white voters without college degrees as an unattainable cohort, says Thomas B. Edsall. The Obama campaign's not explicitly announced this strategy. However, strategists point to it as the likely path of the president's victory, given demographic data from previous elections. I mean, he can't win with them. What does it tell you? President of the United States cannot win the election with the votes of working class white families. Rai Tashira, a strategist at the Center for American Progress, wrote in 1995, President Clinton couldn't win white blue-collar workers. His re-election bid would be doomed. That was 1995. Okay, go fast forward 15 years, and they've made an about-face. The Republican Party has become the party of the white working class, says the same guy, Rai Tashira. However, he warns that losing whites without college degrees altogether would be disastrous. There simply are not enough college-educated whites and Hispanics and blacks who will make a Democrat majority. Obama can still get away with losing white Americans by 17%, as John Kerry, who served in Vietnam, by the way, did in 2004. That's the lay of the land. Take a quick time out here, my friends. El Rushbo back. After this, we continue to discuss Obama, the great unifier.